Hey friends, it's Hannah with Oakland Studio. This video you're watching is all about creating menus in your Showit website. You can obviously create a variety of menus in Showit just because of the type of platform it is. And whether that's a common horizontal menu or a hamburger menu or even sub-menus that pop up when you click on your main navigation. I'll show you how to make all of these types and give you tips and tricks to make them work seamlessly and professionally on your website. So just to show you a few of those, for example, I have one of my templates up, and this is going to be an example of a pop-up submenu. And in this case, it is a drop-down banner that goes across the screen. But you could also have just a small drop-down with the links here. You could put boxes behind it. You could put anything on it. I'll also be showing you how to do hamburger menus. So hamburger menus that open from the top. And I'll also show you how to do reveal type header site situations on your navigation, much like how this bar reveals itself as you scroll. And another hamburger menu icon is the side menu that will pop up and is full screen. So I'll show you how to make all of these in this video. So, well, let's get started. Mobile will be a little bit different than desktop, obviously. Things that you do on desktop, you will have to change to reflect it on your mobile. In most cases, your mobile will always have a hamburger menu with a click and drop pop-up of your navigation. The only thing I might teach you is how to combine your navigation so you don't have multiple menus on your site. But for the most part, your mobile will always work separately than your desktop menu. So I'm going to just go ahead and hide mobile for now just to make it a little easier on your eyeballs. And we'll get started. The first thing we're going to learn is the drop down, this drop down bar nav, how to create that. So if you don't care, or if you already know how this one, skip ahead to one of the other ones. Okay, so when you first create your navigation bar, most likely you're going to create a new canvas. You're going to name it navigation, menu, whatever you want to name it. You'll put your logo, text, blah, blah, blah. You should already know how to link things up by now. If you don't, maybe I'll have a beginner video you can go watch. So yeah, I have all my stuff here. Now the thing is that I want Portfolio to break down and show the options that they can click on, right? So in this example, we'll be creating a bar that pops down. Now, canvas views are glorious, and the sooner you learn how to use them for your designs, the more beautiful, fun designs you can make for your show website. So I'm going to click on the three dots, hit Add Canvas View. Now, View 1 is going to be the default view. Anything outside of View 1 is also default, and it won't change based on your views. So for example, if I put the word portfolio in View 1, it's going to be visible in View 1 and with this. But let's say I add another canvas view and you move over to View 2, anything in View 1 is going to be missing because you've moved over to a second view. But anything outside of these views is still visible. So keep that in mind when you're designing, anything with canvas views. If you want it to stay there and not be affected by any of your views, keep them outside of your view. And you can do that just by dragging things out. And then once it does the long bar, you can see, it'll get it out of the view folder. Okay, so here we go. So portfolio, I am wanting this to be a drop down, right? And I want this to change on its second view. So View 1, portfolio. Then when you click on portfolio, I want the link to be a canvas because we're on a canvas right now, your navigation canvas. So I want it to be linked to a canvas, and I want to be linked to this canvas because we're going to stay within this navigation canvas. We're not going outside of it. And then I want it to move to the second view, View 2. Now, in Scroll to Canvas, you're going to want to uncheck this because we don't want people to be scrolling and moving around on the page when we're just changing the navigation view. That can be useful in other ways. And then you don't need this either. So just uncheck all of these boxes, View 2. Now, View 2 right now is empty, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, Command-C, and paste, Command-V, and I'm going to change the color of this to show that it is in an active state. You don't have to do this. This is just kind of my personal preference to show that you've clicked on it. So I'm going to go ahead and preview and show you what that looks like. So now portfolio, here's view 1. Click. You see how it's now a darker color? Because we've moved into view 2. So now we're going to add the submenu that we want to pop up. And I will show you both ways you can do this. So first I'm going to go down here, add a rectangle, drag it to whatever size I want. And let's say, whoops, well, we'll do the bar first. So I'm going to move this over here. Now you notice that I have no problem putting this on top of a different canvas. That is because my canvas is set to stacking order 5. This canvas is stacking order 1. So always have your navigation bar, your header bar, as a higher stacking order so that it will always be on top of your design. Now, back to the main thing here. So this bar, obviously, I'm going to want it to go from the very left side of the screen to the very right. So I'm going to select the bar, go to size and position, and do the horizontal locking all the way across. It's this bottom one you'll see here. Now, like I said, because I'm lazy, I've already made the, I've already made the text. I know I'm cheating a little bit, so I'm going to paste that there. And in this case, all I'm doing is adding text. So you would just go down here, go to heading, whatever it is, type it, blah, blah, blah. Just make links like you normally do. I made it to just save you time instead of watching me do that. And then I'm just centering it. So I'm selecting all of, selecting all my text. I'm moving that to the right, this to the left. And then I'm just kind of centering it, and in the website. And you can be precise about this or not, it's up to you. And then I'm going to command click and then center these, which they already are. But for example, boom. Okay, so these are now centered. So here's view 2. View 1, view 2. These will need to be linked. So you would go to your click actions, link them to the page you want them linked to, the canvas slug you want them linked to, etc. And that is that. So let's go ahead and preview. Okay, view 1, click, view 2. And also one thing I'm going to show you is people need a way to close out of this, right? Oops, that was an accident. You don't want people to be stuck in that state, right, on your menu. So what I would suggest, you can do 2 things. So I like to make the navigation or the link that they click to open the menu also be the link that they click to close the menu. So in this case, so view 1 portfolio goes to view 2. So now view 2 portfolio, we need it to go to view 1. And this will basically hide it and make it seem like they're closing it. Now you can also put an X on here and have the X click to the same thing. You could even link this bar if you want to that, but then you have to worry about them not clicking perfectly. Anyway, long story short, just make sure you give viewers a way out of your navigation. So as you can see, super simple, right? Now you can do this in any way. Now that you know how canvases work, now you know how navigations work. Let's say you did not like this whole bar across the page thing. It's just not your style, right? So I'm going to shrink it, boom, and boom. And let's say I want it to be just like a little box drop down. So I'm going to center these, which I think all of them are except that. There we go. And I'm going to, space it out. Like I said, you can really get in here and measure stuff. I eyeball things. That's just how I roll. So yeah. So let's see. I'm going to stack that because I don't like how far this is going out, right? And then I'm just roughly seeing this center piece is kind of roughly in the middle of that. And then here I'm going to select all of this and center it. Oops, that probably wasn't the best idea. Okay. And I'm just click dragging and centering. Okay, and now that I have centered this, and these, would already be linked normally. Now, same thing. When you click on it, instead of having that lower bar, ooh. Uh-oh. Okay, so obviously the locking, have to take that off on size and positions. Let's try that again. So, click, and there she is, all cute and small and great. So I've showed you how to use canvas views to do a little box drop down and a bar drop down. So obviously, if you have any questions, you drop them in the comments below and we'll try to hash those out and get it done. So the next thing I'm going to show you is on a different template of mine. I have it up here already, is hamburger menu. Hamburger menus are really great if you want a very simple, simplified, classy kind of type of website. You need to make sure that your users aren't necessarily like old people who don't know what a hamburger icon is. You got to make sure people know how to use it, but pretty common, especially if you have a younger audience. Anyway, so this is going to be what I show you in this part of the video, and I will also show you how to do the scroll reveal, because in situations where you may not want a background and then you do want one for readability, that's something that is really kind of neat that I've recently started doing. So let us get to it. So first things first, I've obviously already created the menu. And I don't really see the need to have to recreate it, right? So the menu is up on the top of the page. I will hide it though to show you something. So I have my navigation, and in my navigation I have my hamburger menu icon, I have my logo, and I have a book appointment click option. Then I have my menu. Now you'll notice that my navigation is stacked on top, right? So my open menu is a stacking order 3, which is going to put it on top of the rest of my canvases. My navigation stacking order 4. So it is one higher than my menu that is open. So that's to make sure that everything is stacked accordingly so that it will work on the website. So, just to, obviously you would add your blank canvas. I'm just going to throw this up here, and you would design stuff. So you would put your text, link number 1, blah, 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 until you create something that looks like this open menu here. Now I've created this menu, and one thing I want to point out is my navigation has no height to it. That way it won't have a gap between the navigation and whatever. As you can see, there's no gap between the navigation and the top of the page. It is at the top, on top of my canvas. There is no space. So for my menu that is open, it is at the top of the page, but because my navigation has a 0 height, as you can see, it is just on top of the top of this menu, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide the menu for a second. So once you create your menu, make sure you link up everything to, what pages you're wanting it to go to, etc. And then with your navigation, it's going to be pretty simple. You're going to link to this section, right? But wouldn't this section be showing? Because it's at the top of the page. Well, menu, once you click on your canvas, onto the right menu, you will see canvas type, sticky, etc. So you want it to stick to the top, obviously, right? You don't want it to be somewhere else on the page. And you want it to be hidden to start. So this is so when you go to your site, it doesn't look like this. You want it to be hiding at first, and then you want to click to reveal. So get your menu, make sure hidden to start, make sure it's sticky to the top. Then go to your navigation, click on whatever icon you're trying to link, click actions, and then you're going to see link and actions. So if this isn't here, so this is what it's going to look like for you. You're not going to link it to anything. What you're going to do is you're wanting it to show the canvas. You're not wanting to link to a canvas. So click on your icon, make sure it's selected, go to click actions, click add. Type is show canvas, and then pick the canvas. So that one is called menu open. The name's right here. So whatever you've named it. And then now what this is going to do is it is going to, when you click this, reveal the top of the canvas. Pretty simple, I don't think. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, you have one way to open it. You need to make a way for people to close it, right? And now in this case, since I'm showing a canvas and I'm not changing my view, this icon, I can't have two actions on it in this situation that would make sense. I can't do show canvas and hide canvas because then they would cancel each other out. So what I would suggest instead is obviously like when you click on a link, you're going to go to a new page. So it's going to naturally not show itself. So in this case, I have a box behind the screen. Now, normally you don't even need to add this because when this pops up, it is going to be with a background anyway. But I have added a background to it, and I have sized and positioned it to where it has horizontal locking from the very left of the screen to the very right, with this horizontal locking right here under size and position. And I have linked this background to hide the canvas because I figure that you are going to want to hide it in some form or another, and I can't reuse this icon, so I've used it this way. And that's the challenge and the fun with Showit, is you can be a little bit creative and do things that, you know, are different than maybe if you could code. But this is a great little workaround for the situation and solving that issue. So hopefully this was helpful and I've shown you how to do it. Let's go ahead. I already showed you how to do that. Boop. So that is how you would create a vertical menu drop down. And if you don't want this menu up here because it messes with your eyes or something, you can throw it on the bottom of the page, you know, so you can focus on the design of your website. You can have the menu thrown down here because no matter what, because you have it sticky to top, when you go to your site and click it, it will still be on the top of the page. So if that's something that bothers you and navigations or menus, especially in mobile view, are on top of your design and it's obnoxious, this is a good workaround for that. Speaking of which, let's see what mobile looks like. So yeah, in this case I have my menu is also the same canvas as my mobile menu because they have the same links and they're both hidden to start. I could use it on both mobile and desktop. So same kind of thing. I'll show you what it looks like. When you click that, pops up on the side, right? I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this on mobile just to get it out there. Your navigation, you have the button, right? It's the same one you have here. I have it still set to show canvas menu open because it's the same icon. It's going to do the same thing. And then I have the menu down here, and this is what's going to show. I have this canvas set to window height because you're going to want, in this type of design, you're going to want your menu to be the height of the phone that whoever is using. So setting your canvas to window height, sticky top, and hidden to start. So those are still very similar settings to the desktop version. And then as you can see, I have this background here again. And then my canvas, as you'll notice in the live preview, there's no background on it, right? You can see the website from behind besides this white bar. So I have the white bar added. And then my canvas, when I click on my actual canvas, the canvas background under mobile color is set to transparent. So that is how you can see through to the, you know, the background. If I were to move that bar around like I did, see how you can just see right through there. So that is how you do that. And then I will show you, I'll go ahead and show you this navigation. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do that scroll reveal on this website, since that's not technically a navigation menu per se. So let me go over here. Okay. So in this case, I have my, my navigation. Once again, it's set to 0 height. You can have it set to whatever you want. I just want it on top of my design. And then the icon itself is actions show canvas. Very similar to exactly what we just did, except for I'm positioning this in a different place. So instead of on top of the page, I want it to be on side of the page. And scrolling down, here's my navigation. So I created a new canvas. and I created my menu, and I added this black bar here, blah, blah. So what I've done in this situation is this black bar, I have it, well, hold on, let me step back real quick. So for this type of navigation, you'll notice it covers the whole screen. No matter what size my screen is, it is going to go from top to bottom. So in order to do that, much like the mobile version we just went over, your canvas needs to be set to window height, and your positioning needs to be sticky to top, and your visibility hidden to start. So similar, well, exactly the same. So that when you start, it is like so. Now, once you've set this to window height, you'll notice that size and positioning changes, and I'll show you the difference. So let me just set this to normal real quick. This is what it looks like normal. You see this gap down here? Because it's not set to window height, or it's not set to stretch. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just set it to stretch through the canvas positioning, right? Well, the problem is you can only do it horizontally on a canvas that isn't set to window height. So right now I have it locking to the right, but I need it to lock up and down. So that is where we go into canvas type, change it to window height, and now when I click on this, you'll see we have vertical locking options. So that is how you do that. And yeah, I wanted this to be on the left side of the or the right side of the screen. So I made sure to lock everything over to the right. And the bar is locked to the top and bottom. And then of course this canvas, like I said, is hidden to start. I have it at the bottom of the page so it wasn't in the way, and now, you know, this is what it does. So you can do this anyway. So if I was like, I like it on the left, right? Throw this over here. Throw this over here. Okay, so now I need to move all of the stuff to be locked to the left. I'm just going to do a few of them. Horizontal lock, horizontal lock. Okay, and I would do that for the rest of these links too. And then obviously the background, make sure it's horizontal lock, it's still vertical. Now, when I click on my menu icon, boop, it is on the left side and everything is over here on the left. And everything that I didn't lock is just hovering right here in the middle of my page. So you'd make sure you horizontal lock everything to the left. So yeah, you can do left, right, you could throw it on the bottom of the page. I'll show you that real quick. So let's say I want my navigation to be on the bottom of the page, which, you know, I mean, sure, there could be a situation where you want to do that. In most cases, it would just get in the way of your footer, but you never know. Maybe you want some snazzy horizontal one in the footer. So we're going to do this. And obviously the background image on this section, just like on mobile, is set to transparent so that it is not, this white is not showing, only the black is. So yeah, here we go. I want my navigation to be on the left, bottom of my screen. So I'm going to horizontal lock all this stuff real quick. Hope you're not bored yet. And then this is fine, moving over to the left. Okay, so now if I were to just try this, right, I haven't set it to the bottom yet, as you know. So when I click it, it's just going to be over here looking like this, which is fine. But I wanted it to be on the bottom, and I don't want it to be full screen, right? So first, let's change the canvas to normal. Change the sticky positioning to bottom. Hidden start stays. This little guy should be good now because we've gotten rid of the vertical options by changing the canvas type. So now when we click and view, it is on the bottom of our site. And in most cases, you know, maybe I would want this to stretch all the way across and then continue from left and right. Maybe I want this to be over here on the right side because my menu icon is on the right. whatever it is, change the settings you need to change. And now it's on the bottom, down here. My lovely floating Instagram icon because I didn't anchor it. But yeah, so now your menu is on the bottom. So top, bottom, left, right, whatever you need to do. It is as simple as showing a canvas that is hidden and making sure its settings are set to the proper details to make that happen. So now that you know how to do menus like this, we're going to go back to this template and I'm going to show you how to do scroll reveals. Now, to create something like that navigation where a bar reveals itself later, I'm going to walk you through that. First thing we need to do is on the navigation, we need to change or create that second view. So the first view obviously is one without a background, and the second view is one with the white background. And as you can see, those are the two backgrounds that are going to be showing on the navigation. So once you've created that, and that's simply just by canvas views, what we went over a little earlier in this video, we need to create the scroll action, what is going to trigger that event to happen when scrolling down the page. On your page, click on the three dots, add a blank canvas, and I'm going to call this scroll trigger, scroll action, trigger, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to set the canvas height to 1, and I'm going to move it up underneath my navigation. And I'm going to just make sure that the canvas background is transparent. So my navigation is only 1 pixel, right? And my scroll trigger now is only 1 pixel. So these are stacked one on top of the other, way at the top of the page, not even visible. So on this page, they're way up here. But now what I want to happen is when the user scrolls past the very beginning of that page, the tip top of the page, it will cause this interaction to happen. So on my scroll trigger canvas, I'm going to go to the right menu and click on scroll actions, and then I'm going to add an action. So when this 1 pixel canvas is off the screen, which means when you scroll and push it off the screen, I want it to change canvas views of my navigation canvas to the second view. Okay, so now when I preview, I should scroll, kicking that 1 pixel canvas off, and the white will show up. Now you'll see now it's just stuck, right? It's not going away like it was here. And I want it to disappear and be all fancy, right? So let's go back. Now we need to add another action. And when that 1 pixel, which was just pushed off the screen to show view 2, now when it comes back on the screen, I want to change the canvas view of my navigation back to view 1. So that is how we're setting this up. So now when I preview, not showing, scroll, pushing that 1 pixel canvas off screen, my view 2 is showing, scroll all the way back up to the top of the page, and it's showing again now at the very tip top. It's going to go back to view 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you add a scrolling action to trigger an event like that in your navigation. And you can use this kind of scroll action to do tons of stuff. So play around with it. This obviously is just for navigation and menu purposes because that's the point of this video. But, you know, maybe in the future I'll make a lot more videos just on what you can do with scroll actions. Who knows? Anyway, so that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope it wasn't too cumbersome or too complicated or anything like that. If you have questions, if you're having troubles, always feel free to drop some comments below so I can respond to those and we can kind of figure these things out, because what you're struggling with, someone else might be struggling with too. So be sure to do that. Also, please like, please subscribe. I'll be adding a lot more videos in the future, not just with Showit, but with also other design things, brand related, all that good stuff. And by liking and leaving me some comments, hopefully other people will also find this video and it will be helpful for them. So thank you again for watching, and until next time.